Wisconsin's not just famous for beer, cheese, and the Green Bay Packers. We're now famous for Scott Walker. On May 22nd, 2010, I attended the Wisconsin Republican State Convention, and this Walker guy won the Republican endorsement with a vote of 91%. He then went on to win the general election with about 1 million votes, and now he has his name on the top of a recall petition with about 1 million signatures. Scott Walker has not been an idle governor. Today is his 142nd day in office, and he has saved the state some $543 million in local savings that have been documented by media reports, about $65 million in changes in health care plans, and over $1 billion total. That's more than $7 million a day since he's taken office. I don't know about you, but that would be one heck of a shoe budget. So why are Wisconsin voters trying to get him out of office? Property taxes are down in Wisconsin. It's been the first decline since 1998. Wisconsin's jumped about 20 spots on the CEO list of best places to do business in America since Walker's been in office. Thanks for opening up Wisconsin for business. Oh, and also, another 52 schools from across the state have saved an average of $220 per student, thanks to the ability to introduce competitive bidding for health insurance, rather than automatically going through the WEA Trust, which is the favored provider of the Wisconsin Education Association Council. In Fond du Lac, School Board President Eric Everson says that the district saved $4 million as a result of last year's reforms. So why get rid of Walker? The argument seems to be revolving around collective bargaining rights.
Collective bargaining rights.
Ever since Walker has introduced his plan to save Wisconsin, unions have been spending millions of dollars trying to ruin a man who is simply trying to make public employees pay 5.8% of their own pensions and 12.6% of health insurance premiums. That's a very, very small sacrifice to save your state's economy. What's so crazy about all this is that collective bargaining rights for government employees is nothing new. Actually, Ohio, Missouri, Iowa, Indiana, Michigan, New Hampshire, and to a lesser degree Maine and Pennsylvania have all restructured their own collective bargaining rights. Historically, collective bargaining rights were a method for unions to talk to employers about the benefits of the collective group that they represented. This works fine for some employees. However, public employees are much different. According to the courts, public employees possess property interest in their jobs, which triggers constitutional protections to the employee, including due process of law. In fact, public employees without collective bargaining rights frequently have more protection against arbitrary and unjust employer action than do private employees with collective bargaining rights. Public employees don't need collective bargaining rights because they're already uber protected by the court system. Even liberal Democrat FDR said that the very nature and purpose of government make it impossible for administrative officials to represent fully or to bind the employer in mutual discussions with the government employer organizations. Why? Because the employer is the whole people. That means that the people are employing the public workers. The taxpayers are the employer. And as a taxpayer, nobody asked me if public employees should pay a small percentage of their own health care and their own pensions. But now we all get a chance to voice our opinions. A strong leader like Scott Walker knows that they need to stand up for something they believe is right, even when people say that it's wrong. And an educated voter knows that they need to decide themselves who will represent them in their government. On June 5th, Wisconsin gets its chance to be the focal point of the political lens. And I can only hope that the employers of the public workers and the taxpayers who are one and the same will turn out to vote pro-Scott Walker. Because if he can open Wisconsin for business in 142 days, just wait to see what he can do with the last half of his term.